Hey guys, so this is going to be a Q&A video, and it's going to be the first in a long line of them that are going to come out in the next couple of weeks, months, however many this takes. What happened was that I posted on Facebook about a week or so ago that I was going to have a 24-hour Q&A thread, and that people needed to post their questions in that thread if they wanted to have them answered. And I got quite a few responses. Quite a few questions, and I am going to try my best to answer them all tonight in this setting, and then I'll edit the videos in 10-minute chunks, I guess, and then I'll do my best to release those whenever I don't have a training commentary up or any other kind of video that I plan on producing. So I hope you guys enjoy all the info that we're going to be talking about, and I just want to start off by saying I'm not an exercise scientist. These are questions that I'm answering from my own experiences. A lot of it's anecdotal evidence. If I do have something that's research-based, I'll try to include that in some sort of sourcing, but for the most part, this is just going to be you guys asking me questions, and I'm going to do my best to give you my understanding to the best of my ability. There will be some generalizations, and I don't know if everything that happens is going to stand up to some sort of scientific debate, but that's what the comment section's for, so let's try to keep it civil and have some good conversations about this if you're so interested. So here we go. First question. Thomas Botica. Goal numbers for the next meet. Okay, well, my actual goal for the next meet, which is going to be in August, my USPA kind of debut meet, I'm going to be doing the meet without wraps. And so I don't really have much of an idea of how that's going to go for me. I haven't ever competed in a meet without knee wraps before. I've done mock meets and stuff, and so my goal is to do better than I did there, and hopefully hit a PR. But my biggest plan right now is to go 9 for 9 at that meet and check that off my to-do list, because I just want to perform the best of my ability on that day. It'd be really cool to get somewhere in the mid-6s on my squat. My bench, I feel like I'd really like to get closer and closer to a 400. I feel like that just has to happen sometime, and anything improved on the deadlift would be awesome, just because I went through a 2-year slump where I wasn't able to do anything, and then finally I got a 7-pound PR, and then the last meet I got a 5-pound PR. So you never know really how that's, or a 10-pound. It was a 10-pound PR at the last meet. So I'm hoping to be able to improve on that, but my fingers are just crossed that the training goes well, and I'm going to work as hard as I can, do the best I can on the day, and that's all I can really tell you. Question 2. Poptard Her. What were your motivations in order to achieve where you are now, or what keeps you pumped and going? I have to say that I really did, since I started pretty early. Anybody who's not familiar, I'm 24 now. I really did start training when I was about 10 years old. It wasn't all powerlifting then. It was a lot of bodybuilding based things and exercise. I just really wanted to be stronger and fit, and that was something that really got into me at a younger age, and I felt like that it became so ingrained that most of it was just habitual. I don't think I could stop going to the gym now, just out of habit. I wouldn't know what to do. It's such a center point in my life. There are times when I get frustrated when the progress started to slow, which it has done. I just told you about where I was going on a deadlift drought PR kind of situation for about 2 years, and that was really difficult for me. So in those kind of times, I really try to take a step back and remember that this is something that I'm doing, and as much as I do care about it, and as much as I do want to improve, there are other ways to improve other than just putting a bigger number than you had before. I use powerlifting as an outlet for my life's ambitions and to center and discipline myself, and it really is something that I try to keep a level head on. And I have a few friends who have really, their viewpoint is very much along the mindset of winning. I know my buddy Johnny Candido recently came out where he is shifting his mindset from a lot less of a personal journey and betterment to more of a I want to go back and I want to win IPF Worlds, and I totally respect that mindset, and I totally say go Johnny for that. Powerlifting the Win Izzy Navarez has a great channel, and he and I actually just had a civil discussion last night on YouTube about the mindset of not trying really hard to avoid failure or experiencing failure and using that to motivate you so that you almost develop this, my understanding anyway, I'm not trying to speak for him, was to develop this fear of failure and this hate towards those feelings so that you can push yourself to win and push yourself to be better. And Izzy uses a lot of positive motivational techniques in his actual training. But for me personally, the biggest motivation is that I am better now as a person in every aspect of my life as a result of the dedication and the discipline that I learned from this activity and from the way that it has shaped who I am. So I'm not sure if that completely answers your question the way you expected, but that's really where I draw my motivation, is kind of the ability to sit back and reflect on who I am now as a result of what I've done, and hoping that I can only improve that in the future. Next question, Tim Cox, best plan of attack to deal with hip mobility issues in squats. Okay, so there are a couple of different things that I see happen in the hip mobility. Some people say that they have hip issues, but they can squat down to parallel just fine. Other people, myself, whenever I don't hit parallel in a squat, it's not because I'm having a mobility issue. It's because I got down close enough and I cut the squat. And the fix for that is to not allow yourself to squat high, even in training. And some people say it only counts on the meet, so if I'm high here, I'll just bring it down a couple inches. And I'm very much have become more of the mindset that you practice how you play, and it's important to not give yourself credit in training sessions if you're not performing the lifts to the standard that you are wanting to perform them to in a meet type setting. And so that's how you should, in my opinion, keep track of your PRs. I do have a few, even some that are more recent than I'd care to admit, that the squats weren't where I wanted them to be, and you just have to force yourself to get down there. If it is truly an issue, I think that mobility work, stretching, and rolling at night, just before bed, every single night. If you can dedicate 25 to 30 minutes of your evening ritual before going to bed on mobility work, you are going to have a much better chance at it not being an issue. And it's something that you could do. You could put on TV or a movie or watch some YouTube videos and roll out. That's what I have found to be the most successful for me. As far as particular stretches involved, I do have one video up. It's like if you go to my channel main page and you look at the my recovery video, where I also did a tour of my apartment from a couple summers ago. I went through some of the stretches that I tend to do more for my hips and their flexibility, but that is not in any sense comprehensive to everybody. So mobility WODs, Kelly Starrett, I know that there's a lot of stuff in there, and while I don't think that you need to go to the extreme of being an incredibly hypermobile person just to squat to depth, I think that there are some tools and useful tips there that you could find. Also, Bryce Lewis is another one of the YouTubers that I'm friends with, and he has some mobility stuff that he's gone over in some videos. In the future, I'd like to cover a little bit more of that type of material, but I just haven't had the time or available space to really do anything that's in depth like that, at least not in recent history. So I hope that answers your question. Samson Souksamrane. I'm going to mess up every single one of your names, just so you know. That's something that I'm very good at, is not pronouncing people's names correctly. So I apologize. No disrespect is ever meant by that. What are your goals for the next 2 years, personal, athletic, etc.? I do think it's important to have very specific goals for short term, and you can be a little bit more vague in your long-term goals. I think for me in the next 2 years, it'd be nice to graduate college. I've been here quite a while, more than 4 years, and that's not because I can't get out. That's not because I haven't been able to, or I've never failed a class in my university setting, but I just keep finding things that I'm interested in, and it keeps me around. And I think it's getting close to that time in my life where I'm ready to be done and stop taking classes just because they sound interesting to me and I want to learn, and start to finish my degree. I think I have 1 quarter left, and that's the main thing. When I get that finished, I'll be able to kind of move on with my life. I'd like to start offering in the future maybe some online opportunities to help people reach their goals. I know that personal training online has become sort of almost a fad now, that a lot of YouTube channels are really taking advantage of. Anybody who's got a following can offer that. I don't want to do it until I am done with school and have the time to commit to make it a real positive experience for the other person, anybody who would be interested in that. But I would really like to keep doing the YouTube thing, start doing some of that, and the more time that I spend doing this, the more time that I spend involved in this fitness area, and I feel like the more opportunity I have to change the standard and possibly spark a reform, because I think there are some things that are just broken in the industry, and it is always a little, I think it's always a little unfortunate the way that people have made this thing that I love, and I would like to at least do everything I can in my power and my ability to improve it, at least back to the standard that I wish it could be, even if that's just being an idealist. As far as fitness and numbers go, I just want to get better. Every time I do a meet, I want to improve, I want to break PRs. Every training cycle, I want to learn something and grow in some way and be better than I was. I'm going to be doing a lot more things that are pinpointed and focused on specific fixes. That's something that you just have to do when you get to a certain level. You can't just get better at everything at the same time, and so that's going to be a challenge, but that's going to be something that I look forward to doing, and I want to be a better Ben than I am now in 2 years. So I apologize for the vagueness of that, but that's really all I have to answer on it. So that's going to be the first segment. I'm looking at my camera, and it says that we've gone 11 minutes. I'm going to try to keep these all at 10 minutes-ish, and I'll try to finish whatever question I'm on in that time and area of answering. But I don't want to cut any of the answers short just because of the time. I think you guys deserve at least some well thought out and full answers, and that's what I'm going to try to provide. So stick with me. It's going to be a long night. If I start to get a little loopy or start to get sweaty, I'll take a break and maybe get some water or something, but I want to make sure that I get this done because I think you guys deserve it. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. Please leave a like rating, comment down below, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I appreciate it, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.